Hi, this is Tranisha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about cynicism. So, what made me want to talk about cynicism is earlier today I was reading this book. Um, I had like a moment to myself, and I really wanted to dig into this book that I've been reading here and there. Like, I'll apply it to my life. It's called Get Out of Your Head, and it pretty much talks about spiraling and toxic thoughts and negativity and ways to combat those things with positivity. And so in this book, it it brings up being cynical, and it reminds me of how I always talk about how cynical I was. And really, I mean that in like a lot of different areas. And I would be cynical when it comes to like having hope or believing that something good could happen or believing that someone could care enough to do something nice or believing that there are good people in the world. Like, I always believed that it was just evil everywhere. And this is just the truth. And it didn't occur to me until I read this book that what I was experiencing was Satan, was the adversary trying to stop my purpose. He was trying to get in my head. He was trying to convince me that to not have hope. Cynicism is like every bad thing that you could possibly think of is what you are saying is going to happen. You don't want to trust someone because you don't believe that they're good people. You don't want to give someone a chance because you think that everyone's the same. Like, it just, the list goes on and on and on. And I had a thought that I wrote down. I did not want to forget it. So I said, in my opinion, cynicism is a reoccurring negative thoughts that Satan uses to distract us from our purpose and the promises of God. And I said that because it says that it says things about being a cynic, and it talks about how you could be cynical in a way where it's like, even when someone comes down with something, or you are going for an interview, or you're meeting new friends, or you are dating, or you're in a relationship, or you are about to get a job, or you're going for an interview, it's like you being cynical makes you say things like, I'll never get that job. They'll never hire someone like me. That person will never be friends with me, or I'll never have friends that I can actually trust or can talk to about my deepest opinion, deepest, darkest secrets, because they'll judge me and they won't like me. Or it'll be about a person. I'll never meet someone who thinks that I'm worth it, or every person or every guy or every woman's going to be the same, whatever your cynical opinion is, or the thing that you tell yourself, or the thing that Satan constantly used to combat your purpose. And I really feel like he likes to keep you stuck there, because as long as you're there, you're not pursuing your purpose. As long as he can stall you or distract you or discourage you, he's doing everything he can to still kill and destroy your dreams, your purpose, and everything that God put on your heart to do. So for me, I want to be mindful, because I didn't know that me being a cynic was Satan, or being, it was part of the adversary's plan. I just felt like I never saw anything better, so this is just how it is. I had no idea that that was the adversary's plan all along, to discourage me from pursuing my purpose, from allowing God to be able to use me in a good way, to use my story for his benefit. I had no idea that that's what I was doing when I was saying those negative things. And it really made me think about, I wonder if that's what a lot of people do. They don't realize that they're feeding into society, or they're feeding into the adversary when they do things like that. When we make a general statement about men or women, it's like we're giving Satan everything he needs. When we say, well, all men do this, or all women are just so gullible, or all men are all going to hurt you, or whatever the comment is, we are just feeding the adversary. We're giving him everything that he needs, because as long as we are at war with each other, he has everything he needs to keep us divided, to keep us not like in a weakened state, so that we won't be able to combat his attacks. So that when he comes and he sends like a distraction our way, which we don't expect anything better anyway. So we see this distraction come our way, whether it's a job that looks good that's going to take us away from things that we love, or a friendship that's toxic, or a relationship that's not good for us. We will just dive deep into things like that because we don't expect anything better. because the world told us that this is as good as it gets. This is the only thing we could ever have in our lives. And it's not true. God promised us so much more than that. We mean so much more to God than just a person. He cares about every hair on our head. He cares about the sparrows. He cares about us more than he cares about the sparrows and the other things that he created. So the adversary likes us to believe that we're nothing to God, that we won't be anything, that we'll never be able to achieve anything. When in reality, we can do anything we put our minds to. We can do anything we believe for. We can achieve anything through God. God can give us the power and the strength to be able to do anything. And I mean anything. Like there are things in my life that I've been able to accomplish with God that I would have never even imagined me doing. I would have never imagined stepping out on faith. I would have never imagined believing in myself. I would have never imagined just going for it. And God gave me the courage and the strength to be able to do those things. And if I had allowed Satan to make me believe that I could never do those things, I would be still in a similar relationship or the same relationship. I would be still working in the same position and not striving for anything better. I wouldn't, and I don't mean like one job is better than another. I just mean that in order to better yourself and grow, it's good to learn new skills. It's good to push forward and try to learn as much as you can in every area to be the best version of yourself, to be a better employee. There's things that I can learn maybe in one company that I won't be able to learn in another. There's things that this company may have, or, there might be benefits that the company has. And it's not just all about benefits and money. It could just be that this company has a great leader who cares about his employees or her employees. And that might mean more to me than anything else. So things like that is what the adversary could try to keep you from. He really doesn't want you to be at your full potential. Earlier today, when I was on the way to work, because I went in the office today, hence the blazer. But I wear blazers sometimes anyway, so it's just a thing. But but I'm on the way into the office and I'm listening to the sermon because I got to be in my sermons because I got to be geared up for this war, this mental, spiritual, and physical warfare that's constantly going on. It doesn't stop. It's not like, oh, I made it through this one, the battle's over. No, the war is just beginning. And so I really have to be geared up and ready for battle at all times. I need to mentally be there. I need to spiritually be there. I need to physically be there. Like I can't allow my body to be weakened by the attacks of the enemy. I just can't. I can't allow my flesh to guide me. I need to be strong enough to guide myself and to follow behind God. And I can't do that if I'm not training, if I'm not putting the right things into my body, if I'm not reading the right things, if I'm not listening to the right things. Whoever I'm giving my ear to needs to be a benefit to me. I can't just allow anyone to talk to me any kind of way. I can't allow people to say whatever they want, weakening my self esteem, weakening me as a person. I need to have people around me who are soldiers. We all need to be at war together because it's better for me to have a group of people surrounding me than me to try to fight a battle by myself. When I'm weak, my friends keep me strong. My family keeps me strong. My people that I meet who are good people that are entering to my life keep me strong. I met this person at work and they said something. I respect this person so much you don't even understand. And really, every time I talk to this person, they are so encouraging. And they could be going through anything and they're just like, if you need me, I'm there. And it's so awesome. And one day I was like in one of my moments and they were just like, lean not on your own understanding and drop the mic. But no, it really like every time I feel like I'm trying to figure something out, that's what I think of now. When I'm going through something, I really think of that and that carries me through. And they they are so awesome. They just don't even realize how cool they are. Like I know like certain people probably think, oh, this person's like this, or how you make like a prejudgment on someone. But really, this person exceeded my expectations. Like, don't ever judge a book by its cover because you will be pleasantly surprised. I promise you. And the people that you think are going to be good might not be good. The people that you think are going to be bad might not be bad. And so you really just have to judge off of character and not off of what you think in your mind or what happened in the past, because those experiences are what the adversary will use as well to stop God's blessings. When God's trying to bless you with a new position or bless you with introducing you to a person, if you're closed off and you're not allowing yourself to meet new people or be around other people, then you're not going to get your blessing. The blessing is going to skip you because you are doing exactly what the adversary wants. He doesn't want you to have any opportunity. He doesn't want you to believe in yourself. He doesn't want you to have friends. And in the book, I was learning a lot about myself that I thought that I grew out of. I thought that it wasn't an issue anymore. And I say that a lot because it's a constant, growing is constant. It's not something that stops and you reach an end point. You constantly are always improving yourself. I'm always improving. And so even when you think that you reached the goal, there's still more to do. Don't ever feel like you know everything. When you get to that point, you're not growing anymore. You're settling. You are staying at a comfortable position. And in order for you to grow and learn and become a better person, you have to be uncomfortable. You have to be outside of your comfort zone. You have to allow other people in, regardless of how they behave. You have to behave in the way that is respectful to yourself. You have to speak up for yourself. You have to be willing to listen and grow and learn. You can't just close everyone off just because of a few bad experiences or because you didn't do something in one moment so someone took that as your weak or they felt like they didn't respect you. You really have to allow everyone in. Not everyone. Like, of course, there's some bad people that you know shouldn't be in your life. Don't let them people in. Like, keep them out there. But but in general, you really do have to allow people a chance to get to show you who they are. You can't just make a snap judgment on everyone because everyone is not that person that hurt you. And when I was reading the book, it said something like, even in this lady being cynical, the things that she would do is like she loved being an extrovert, which I thought I was an introvert until I started healing. Then I realized that I just was using a defense mechanism to push people away because I didn't want anyone to get close enough. But in reality, I probably could be an extrovert. I don't know yet, but but really I was like so shy growing up and I just never fit in and I always was to myself and being in crowds and stuff like that was never cool to me. And now that like I'm growing into my own and I'm learning more about myself, every time I go somewhere I want to talk to somebody. I want to inspire them. I want to talk life into everyone. Like I could meet anybody. It doesn't matter who they are. It could be a homeless person and I'm just like, you know what? It's going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. This is what we're going to do. This is what you want to do with your life. Okay, you need some advice. This is what I'm thinking. You know what? It doesn't matter what happened in life and how you got to this position. It matters that you're about to move forward and do better in the future. I'm not saying that's what I'm going to say to every homeless person, but in general, like if I can speak life into someone, if I can add to this world in any kind of way, I want to do it. I don't want to go leaving anything behind. I don't want to leave this earth and I didn't help somebody that I could have helped, or I didn't I saw someone and I just overlooked them. And I'm not going to be able to talk to everybody, but in general, like I literally start conversations with random people all the time. And I know they're probably like, who is this silly person who's trying to start conversations all the time? But it just is me now, apparently. And so every time I go somewhere, I'm just like starting up a conversation, just talking up a storm. I've always been this person and I haven't. But because like I guess because I love myself and because I know that God has my back, it's not I don't feel like I have to like shrink myself into a corner and just be like, don't look at me, like don't notice that I'm here. Like now I'm like, I'm here. I really like my outfits are like expressive and I really just want them to like pop, and I love fashion and I love like having that good energy and like seeing someone who feels like they're invisible like I used to feel and telling them that they're seen, like showing them that I see them and not not judging them. Like when people tell me stories about the things that they've done or things that have hurt them in the past or whatever, I don't just go, oh, well, you should have done this. I listen attentively. And then I tell them that everything is going to be okay because it is. They, as long as they are trying to do better, as long as they realize the mistakes that they made, they're already on the right track. Some people are so busy blaming other people, they never acknowledge the mistakes that they made. And they will never be able to grow because that's exactly where the adversary wants them. And I know I've been saying that a lot, but it's so true. Like, it really was eye opening hearing that because I really felt like cynicism was just something that I did. Me just being so cynical was just something that was normal to me. And it's probably normal to a lot of people. We probably don't even think about it. You probably are watching this video right now thinking, dang, all those negative thoughts I had was the devil trying to block me. And it really was because he does not want to see you happy or joyous or peaceful, live a peaceful life. He wants you in chaos. He wants you in confusion as long as he can possibly get you there. He wants every distraction to stop you from your destiny. He will do whatever it takes to keep you away from God and to keep you away from God's promises for your life. He will make you feel like you need to know the future to figure out that God is going to take care of everything for you. And there was some scriptures that I read in the book that really were so soothing to me to hear that. It was something that Peter said about he was like in jail and I think he was in jail a few times. I don't know, but but he was in jail and he still kept his faith and he said something in the passage. I wish I could remember exactly what it was. Man, but when I heard it, it spoke to my soul. It was just like I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so true." Like even in this moment having faith is it's everything because if you could still have hope not knowing the outcome and knowing that regardless of what happens in this life, you have a place in heaven and that God already sees you as worthy, it's everything. Like there's no doubt that can go there. And in the book it had an exercise like it was something like I'm angry, like whatever emotion it is that you feel or whatever is like hindering your growth or making you stunt your growth or stop or double do like a lot of obsessive thinking or negative thoughts or whatever, you say that there. And then the next thing is because, like, let's say I was like, I'm angry because somebody said something really cruel to me. And then in the end, it says, I choose to. So I could say something like, I choose to understand that not everyone is going to accept me, but God does. That's the truth. God accepts me regardless of what anybody thinks. See how I just negated that whole negative connotation, that whole negative comment? It means nothing now. And so for everything that you do in your life, and I know I completely took that from the book. And if you get a chance to really seriously buy the book, like go on Amazon. I think I got the book off out of Walmart. I don't know, not to like just I'm not trying to market Walmart or anything. I'm just saying in general, I got the book out of there, but it is an amazing book. Like I really love this book a lot. And it's called Get Out of Your Head by Jenny something. And one day I'm going to put it in the description, but I always forget to bring the book out here every single time I do this. And I don't want to pause, go in the room and then lose my train of thought. But if you look it up, Get Out of My Head by Jenny, it's like Jennie or something is how she spells it. So it'll be different. And on the front cover it's white and it's like little splash marks or a circle. And then in the like thing like that tells you something about the book or it gives you like a little comment, it says how to stop the spiraling of your toxic thoughts or something like that is what it says. And so when you go search on Amazon, it should like pull right up. When you say Get Out of Your Head book, it'll probably come up. It'll say Genie, whatever. And you'll see it's white and it's got like blue and red or something and some other colors, but they're all like splashed in like a circle. And then the spiral is there. And then her name is in black at the bottom. It's a white cover. And so so yeah, I probably could have went to the room and got it because I'm probably not gonna remember everything I was gonna say now, but it is what it is. And so I am literally, it talks about spending time with God. So not only do you negate those negative thoughts by coming up with something like I've said in the past, like if if someone was to say something like, or if I had a negative thought in my head like I can't do it, I would think I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Like that would be the positive comment that cancels out that negativity. So stuff like that is something that I think every person should do. Like keep practicing it because those, and it should be the thoughts that constantly pop into your head all the time. The things that are constantly nagging you, making you feel like you're not good enough or like you didn't do this right or whatever it is. And it could be from your past, it could be from an experience with a person, it could be anything. But as long as you have it written down and you have something to negate it, it'll help you feel better and you won't keep cycling. Like you won't keep spiraling. It helps a lot. It really does. And sometimes it's hard to remember that. Like sometimes you get ready to say it and it's like your thoughts take over before you get a chance to negate it. But if you have to use a post-it and put it like in different rooms or whatever it is that you have to do, keep it there so that it's front loaded in your mind. So every time you think of it, you know it's not true. You know it's a lie. It's a lie of the enemy because he doesn't want you to grow and learn and be better. He wants you to stay stuck. He wants you to stay in an unhealthy relationship because unhealthy relationships don't build kingdom marriages. And in order for us to change this world, we're going to have to get on the same page. We're going to have to stop thinking all these negative things about each other and take some start acknowledging it, take responsibility for our actions. We can't just blame someone else just because like it's really important for us to really understand our part in everything. I'm not saying you just feel like everything's always your fault. I'm just saying that just like with me, I didn't stick to my standards. And so, however, the person behaves because I don't stick to my standards is not because they're just a horrible person. It's because I didn't stick to my standards. And I never, I never made it a necessity. I never made it seem like it was a priority. And I'm trying to think of the other word, but I can't think of it. I never made it a requirement. So if you don't require anything, then people are just going to do what they do. It just is what it is. And I think it's important for all of us to just acknowledge when we make a mistake, but not beat ourselves up about it. And it's easy to just be all negative. Like when I start taking responsibility for my actions, I really go into like this spiral of like guilt and just being so super hard on myself. But being hard on myself, that's it's God's job to be perfect, to know like I can't just do everything right all the time. I'm not going to because I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. Whenever we try to step into God's role, we'll never be strong enough to make it because we were never intended to have to go through that. So instead of beating yourself up and being cynical and having these negative thoughts, really give yourself some grace. Allow yourself to know that you're learning and that it's going to take time to build that type of strength. I had this conversation earlier with one of my friends, and man, I have some amazing friends. I just have to say that. Like, God really blessed me. Seriously. Like, I could be real with them and be like, girl, this is how I feel. And they'll be like, okay, like it's going to be okay. And I understand how you're feeling that way. And they be dropping straight knowledge. Like they really do. And I definitely listen. I feel like all of us pull something from each other. And it's easy for us to feel like, or for some people to feel like, oh, well, if you're in a friend group and you feel like you're the one who knows all the information and you can't learn anything from your friends, you might need another friend group. Because my friends teach me something new every time I talk to them. And it doesn't matter what age we are or whatever else. Like sometimes I'll listen to some kids say some stuff. And I know some people are going to probably laugh and think this is a joke. But seriously, when I say I listen to everyone, I listen to everyone. Like, I don't care how young or old they are. Sometimes having a new, fresh set of eyes on something gives you a perspective that you never would have imagined or never would have seen for yourself. My life is different from that child's life or from that adult's life or from that older person's life. So we've all been through life at different stages on different journeys. So what we pull from it is going to be different. And I could be that type of adult that's like, oh, this kid doesn't know what they're talking about. But every kid has a right to their feelings. Every person has a right to their feelings, and they're going to feel a certain type of way regarding whatever it is, whatever thing is happening in their life. So I'll be having a conversation with like one of my little teeny like family members, and they are so cute, and they will like start talking about what's going on with them in their life and stuff like that, and I really do just sit there and listen to them like, girl, what, like I'll be all into it, like it's like the best information ever. And they really do tell you how they feel about stuff, and they tell you like what's going on with them, and how they would like stuff to happen in their life. And for me, like, I don't know if eventually I'm going to have more kids or whatever, but I want to be the best parent that I can be. And I feel like listening to children is a good way to learn what it is that they need. And sometimes it's easy to be like, well, I'm the parent, you have to do this. Or to be like, oh, well, you got to do it this way because I said so. Or you hear them saying something and, well, you don't have a right to feel that way. They have a right to their emotions. And I want all children to know that it's okay to be confident in your decisions and to know that if something is bothering you, if you don't feel comfortable in a situation, that you need to speak up about it. I don't want them to ever feel like they don't have any right to say anything because they're a child. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like it's important for them to be able to express themselves so that they feel comfortable when it comes time for them to have to stand up for themselves, they will have a voice. So it's just one of those things that I do. And when I'm really sitting there listening, I really am listening. I'm not just like, oh, okay, ha ha ha, like trying to make them think that I'm listening. I really am truly listening to them. And you learn a lot about how they feel about certain things and what's bothering them in school and stuff like that. And it's really cool to see their personality start to grow and them starting to develop into a little human, like it's real awesome. And so for me, it's just I just am the type of person that loves learning. I love knowledge. I love picking up as much information as I possibly can. I just have always been that way. I've been like, if there's something that I can learn, as long as it's, I don't want to say as long as it's not boring because everything could be funny. There could be something that could be taught in a cool way that you can learn from it. But in different areas of my life, like it could be a language, it could be learning how to do a handstand at however old you are. And it could be like, I don't know, it could be anything. Relearning stretching techniques. I don't know, but like whatever it is that I could possibly learn or learn from someone else, no matter what age they are, I'm pulling in as much knowledge as I can. I really want to be the best version of myself. And in order for me to do that, I have to be willing to listen. I can't just pretend like I have all the answers because I don't. Even a genius doesn't have all the answers. They might have a lot of answers to questions, but when it comes to real emotions, when it comes to human development, when it comes to different things, there's something that everyone can always learn. You might be able to solve the unsolvable mathematical equation, but that does not mean that when it comes to a relationship you're an expert. That doesn't mean that in every field you're going to be a genius. It really every person can learn something. And it takes a real smart person, a real person who's willing to grow to be able to acknowledge that. So, in conclusion, when it comes to being cynical, know that it's the adversary trying to stop you from God's purpose on your life, to remove you from the position that God is trying to put you in, to distract you from your destiny. You cannot allow him to get in your head in mental warfare, emotional warfare, making you feel like you're not good enough or not worthy because you are, because God created you. God cares about every single one of his children, and he did not put you on this earth to live miserable. He did not put you here to just settle for anything because the adversary says that you don't deserve anything better because this is the best that it is, and because he's saying that, oh well, why go for this job when they'll never hire someone like you? They will. If that's what God wants, where God wants you to be positioned in your life, you are going to get that job regardless if you have credentials or not. I have been in places that I should have never been in. No, I should have been because God wanted me there, but I did not meet the requirements at all, and God positioned me there. The adversary will tell you anything to stop you from pursuing your purpose. You have to remember who you are and whose you are. You know that you're beautiful, you're smart, you're incredible, intelligent. You are everything that God created you to be, and don't let anybody tell you anything different. If people don't want to step up to your standards, if people prove that they don't deserve to be in your life, then it is what it is. It is what it is. And so you have to remember that regardless of who is there, you will always be who you are. And as long as you honor and respect yourself, you will feel a whole lot better than having to put on a brave face for someone who is the devil, or having to pretend like you're happy when you're miserable, or having to be in a situation where you can't talk to anybody about it, or anything like that. You you don't even realize how good God is protecting you from certain people or certain jobs or things in your life. Like, I always say this, but there's so many things that God saved me from, and so many people that he saved me from, that I didn't even know I was being saved in the moment. I thought that God just didn't want to give me what I wanted. But no, it's not about him not giving you what you want. It's about him giving you what you need. Just because something looks good, just because you want it, does not mean you should have it. And I think it's important for us to acknowledge and know that God is not just trying to torment you and hold things from you. He wants to give you the best of everything. So if you're not getting something, it's because it's not the best that God has for you. Know that. It doesn't matter how incredible this person is or this job is. It will not be everything you think it is going to be. I promise you, if God is saying that you can't have it. Or you might not be ready yet, and maybe you'll get it in the future. But you need to lean on God and not on your own understanding. Every time I say that, it just makes me smile because it really is so true, and it gives me comfort, and it helps me rest in that position in my life and knowing that God's going to take care of it regardless of what's happening around me. I might not understand it. I might not be where I want to be or be doing what I want to do, but God is exactly who he is. I'm exactly in the position in my life where God intended me to be in this moment. And And I also think that it's important for us to remember that we are God's children, that he wants the best for us. Just because we can't see how it's going to turn out or why it's going to happen a certain way doesn't mean that God is Satan. Satan is the king of lies, or whatever you want to call it. He's a liar. And so every time you hear something or there's a cynical thought in your mind, know it's not the truth. Know that it is not the truth, and combat that with all the positivity that you possibly can think of. Look up scriptures. Like, we have Google now. So when you Google it and say, what's a scripture to combat anger? Bam. If you have a Bible, like I have the New King James Version, in the back of the Bible, it talks about like lust, and it talks about anger, and it talks about all of the things that you might struggle with, and it says the exact scriptures that you might need for that moment in your life. And so at the beginning, when I first started reading the Bible, that's where I went. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do a whole chapter, but I definitely want something and I need God at this moment. So I was like, okay, 311, okay, 311, instead of reading the whole chapter. Then eventually I made my way into reading whole chapters, or whatever, studying the Bible and sermons and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, seriously, I gotta be transparent because there's gonna be somebody who wants to to be close to God, who wants to rededicate their life to God or give their life to God. And they're going to feel like I have to be this perfect Christian who reads the Bible every day and listens to Christian music and does all of these things that you think a Christian's supposed to do. But you being the best version of yourself and leaning on God and not on your own understanding, you having faith and hope, regardless of what else you're doing, is you doing exactly what you need to do. God does not want us to be perfect. He wants us to strive for perfection, but He does not expect us to be perfect. We are going to mess up because we're humans, and it's okay. You just do what you can do, the best that you can. And God is already accepting you as you are. You don't have to come to Him like some perfect thing. Like, you don't have to have all your ducks in a row and be doing all of these things, going to church every Sunday, and all of a sudden now God's going to accept you. No, you can literally make a mistake right now and be like, okay, God, I'm giving my life to you at this very moment, and He will accept you. He just wants you to need Him. So if you need Him and you want Him in your life, then give your life to Him. You will not regret it. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to pretend like it's just rainbows and butterflies every day. Like, it's going to be a struggle sometimes. It's going to be hard. You're going to be tested. But He will never leave you nor forsake you. And as long as you have Him, you will have peace and joy unspeakable in your life. I promise you that.